Hi, everyone. Drew Roberts here with Milwaukee Real Producers. Today, we have the opportunity to get to know one of our partners a little bit better, Becca Gumm from Suburban Lens. Becca and her team have been a part of our platform with Milwaukee Real Producers right from the beginning, and has been just a great partner for us to have. So we're excited to learn a little bit more about you, Becca, and a little bit more about Suburban Lens today. So thanks for taking your time and giving us a chance to do that.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Definitely. Well, let's kind of jump in a little bit. I'd love to give everybody an opportunity to learn a little bit more about you. We'll definitely jump into, the business side of things for sure. But I guess if you can tell us a little bit more about you and I guess how you got into the business and family and things like that, that'd be great.
Great, thank you. Yeah, I was born in Milwaukee. My husband is our business. We both own Suburban Lens together. He was also born in Milwaukee. I actually grew up in Nashville, Tennessee, but I feel as though there's some pretty deep roots in Milwaukee. We've lived there for the past 12 years. And, we were away for a while, but came back. We had our family there. We have a daughter. She's 9, so super cute. And I grew up in a family that, like in Milwaukee, downtown, you'll see my family, their work throughout the city. So my uncle was one of the very few master blacksmiths in the world. And so if you go into the east side, you'll see his blacksmith work all over the east side of Milwaukee. There are kiosks set up all over the east side. That's all my uncle's blacksmith work. My cousins do tons of music throughout the city. And my father actually graduated from UWM with a theater degree. And has done theater all over Milwaukee. So I grew up in a very robust arts, family, and our roots are really set in Milwaukee. And so I've always had this, like the way of looking at the world. Like I wanted to present something that was beautiful, and I also have like, a really a clear way of seeing how you can make something that's artistic actually efficient and work for your business. And my husband as well, his family's roots are also in business in Milwaukee. His grandparents owned one of the largest funeral homes, the Neiman Szymanski funeral homes, for years and years. So that's his background there. So our roots are really deep set in Milwaukee. And so we, it was actually such a huge honor for us to be able to start a business there, because we definitely were going to start something eventually one day, but the fact that it was able to be in Milwaukee just, it made us like just have more of a sense of pride, and we just do have pride in our work and where we're at because of that. So yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, tell us a little bit more about Suburban Lens, kind of how it got started and the different things that you do to kind of separate yourself and why you enjoy working with the top agents in the metro area.
Well, okay, so we first started Suburban Lens in 2014. And at that time, there were no like real estate photography companies. There were, that was 6 years ago. So it's coming up on 6 years. And at the time there was like a couple guys that would do it for themselves. And there was a really big disconnect between the business of doing real estate and getting a professional photographer to come take your photos. A huge gap, because usually a professional photographer has they look at themselves like artists, like this is my art. And real estate agents just need yes, you absolutely need your product to look amazing, but you don't need all the nuance necessarily of an artist when you're trying to be a high volume real estate photographer or realtor in the industry.
Sure.
So I thought, I actually feel like I can bring these some amazing quality and actually bring some structure that makes sense for a realtor's business. So
Sure.
at the time, what you had to do is you had to call your photographer. Hopefully they would be available, because what happens is a realtor gets a listing. The seller wants the listing on the market tomorrow, and you need to then find a photographer that's actually better than the rest that's out there, or even find a photographer, which means you have to pick up the phone and call, Google someone. You have no idea how much they cost because they don't put any of their prices on the website. So there was a lot of guessing, a lot of back and forth, and people just weren't doing it. And it was something that was happening around the country, and Milwaukee just wasn't getting it. So I was
Sure.
like, okay, I need to actually put these two things together to make them fit for your business. So we actually were the first people to create a system where you could actually just book online. And there have been many following us since then. There have been many following us since then. It's interesting. But we were the first people that you could actually just go on, book efficiently, get the product the next day or 2 days later. I think at the time was a 2-day turnaround. And it was just really like a lot more efficient than like trying to call somebody, trying to rearrange everything. Because we just know, like,
Sure.
go online, see if, and you can, that's the first time you saw real-time availability is when we launched, and our prices were pretty competitive at the time as well. So that's kind of how we started. I started just meeting realtors and calling them, and we quickly went from 23 photo shoots, and I think in the first year, to like, I think the second year we were at 1,500, and we'd serviced over 400 people in the industry, in the area, which I was like, and the other thing that we really wanted is we wanted to be a resource just for realtors, not for sale by owner. So if a for sale by owner, we want to advocate for a realtor. So if somebody that's for sale by owner calls us, they're not going to be getting the prices that you get on our website. And the reason why our prices are so affordable is because we look at it like you're actually wholesaling, you're actually purchasing wholesale, because we work with a lot of high volume clients and they need to be able to access a wholesale price for their photos. So
Definitely. Yeah. And I think too, I mean, you've obviously been referred to us in the beginning by multiple agents, and I know you work with a lot of top agents in southeastern Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things obviously regarding Real Producers, I know we kind of talked a little bit about just some things you guys have coming up with Milwaukee Real Producers. So I'd love to give you an opportunity to talk a little bit about that as well.
Yeah, so Real Producers has been so fun for us. We love the partnership. Drew's, obviously, I'm telling you that you're amazing, Drew, but everybody knows it. So let's just say it, you are.
I appreciate that.
Everybody knows that, right? So yeah, it's true. And we have been able to just really get to know people, but some of us are still kind of getting to know each other. I'm sure, as a busy agent, I'm sure some of these agents also haven't been able to utilize Real Producers as much as we want to, which we will. I mean, we've been there since the beginning. It's basically just started out. So we're really excited to be going to the events in the future. But for right now, we're actually, during this like COVID-19 unsuredness, we're actually extending like a try us out coupon, which is if you go into our website and you book any kind of package at all, it doesn't matter how big the package is, with photos, a drone, product, and even we do 3D tours as well. So if you do all of those things, you can get 20% off your entire purchase through July 1st. So you
Very
just
cool.
yeah, so I'm excited to just get to know people on that. They can try us out. It's not so much of an investment, and then they can kind of get to know us. But it's Real P20, which I can get that to you, Drew, so you can post it if you'd like. But it's,
yeah, definitely. So we will definitely post that link as well in the write-up too. So that'll be something that's accessible for all the agents within Real Producers. We'll definitely make sure to get that out, so everybody has access to that awesome offer. So
right, cool. Yeah.
Very cool. One of the things I want to dig into, and we'll kind of wrap up here in just a little bit, but can you tell us a little bit agents have when they're using you? So I know you kind of touched on like the drone or photography. Can you talk a little bit about those pieces?
Yes. So I can just kind of talk about the different products that we offer. And, you know, I would say there's a bit of a difference between us and maybe some of the other photography companies that you've seen. So with us, well, we've been in the industry for a long time. And actually before this, I was in the real estate photography industry in another location. So I have a good like 8 years in the industry here. So I've seen a lot.
Sure.
So what we really advocate is for our photos. So we do great photos every um, I'm being interrupted. Does anyone want to be my daughter? Hey.
How's it going? Nice to meet you.
This is Arwen. She's our mascot for Suburban Lens. She's gonna go inside now.
Very cool.
Okay. Bye. Sorry, I got a little distracted. We all do it.
No, that's the life we're all living right now. So
I know, it's
totally
funny
understandable.
when I first started this business, and I'll just be like really vulnerable, I was like, oh, it's gonna be so professional. But then you talk to realtors and everyone's got their kids with them. It's so great.
Yeah, 100%.
It's amazing. So anyway, but yeah, so I just want to kind of say like we really advocate for photos. I've seen what actually sells properties, and it really is in the photography. And we also offer things like video and drone videos. We also offer drone photos, which it would lump in the category of photography. So I would say like I would say as a tip from someone that's been in this industry for a long time, if you're going to invest in something, invest in photos. If you're trying to invest in your business to kind of get your brand off the ground or provide something more as a realtor or like actually promote your brand, that's when you get into like doing things like video for your clients. And I think that this is probably not new news for some people, but I think it might be for others that, so we really emphasize our photography and doing, we continue education with our photographers. They have to go through a stringent training program to be a photographer with us. The other thing that sets ourselves apart is we actually have a relationship with the MLS that we are able to upload your photos onto the MLS for free, and we do that at any time that you'd like. Of course, it's your choice. We also within that partnership with the MLS, we actually give the photographer or the realtor full use rights to the photos as long as their listing is, and we actually literally transfer the copyright over, which is not always the case with every photographer. And it's actually really important right now. It's the copyright safety is huge. And instead of kind of trying to fight for a photo that we took just because it's ours, or we could make a case it is, we just decided, you know what, it's better for everybody else if we just give you that copyright. So anytime you use us, you're not gonna have to worry about any kind of copyright infringement at all. It's very safe to use us. Yeah, I could keep talking. What else do you want?
Well, very cool. I want to thank you. We'll kind of wrap up here a little bit, but I really appreciate obviously your partnership with Milwaukee Real Producers. You guys have been awesome to work with, and just always hearing great feedback from the agents that you work with is always phenomenal. But also just really appreciate your time today and giving everybody and myself a little bit more insight into you and your family, and also Suburban Lens, and look forward to partnering with you for a long time here in the future.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you so much, Drew. Everyone knows you're awesome.
Thanks, Becca. Have a great rest of your day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.